Tracer units are pretty useful and pretty fun if you've got the right ammunition. CQB players know this well. Most of the time, tracer units are disguised as a suppressor. That makes sense. You're making the most overused and mostly useless attachment in Airsoft actually serve a point. This just became more than just a bootlicker's way to prove that he can be just like them. I don't care! I go out every weekend to skirmish games with the American flag bundled and wrapped on my back. My buddy's crop pants ripped right next to the knee pads. I know, must have been cheap knockoffs. I don't care if those stinky Europeans hate us. I simulate until it's time to eat at Denny's and pray that the waitress is stupid enough to ask me and my friends if we're veterans. But one thing still bugs me about this muzzle device. It's too damn big, wasteful, practically inclined to an extent, and it makes every pistol I put it on run like shit. There are a few small tracer units out there that solve this micro annoyance, but then there's this. This is the UVT-106 by G&G Armament, and it's the size of an M4 flash hider. Actually, this thing is about the size of my thumb, and I do have baby hands. Coming in at a literal 2 inches, this micro tracer comes with a cool list that makes it stand out from its competition. Of course, size is the main bread and butter that's going to help sell this G&G product, but a major pro is how this model is rechargeable thanks to the two 3.7 volt LiPo batteries inside it. This beats out the competition that can only store one battery on the inside or have to resort to a couple AAA batteries or those little circle batteries that you have a hard time getting at your Walmart because no one seems to ever want to work the jewelry counter when you need them. Why do they only have to be there, by the way? They're not only meant for watches. I worked at a Walmart for 2 years and not even the managers had a clue. With this tracer unit being rechargeable with a micro USB, you shouldn't have any problems with dying batteries at the arena or at most fields if you decide to take a UVT, which stands for ultraviolet tracer, with the 106 at the end being the diameter of the shell, 1.06 inches. You could even do this if you really needed to. It's like putting a thumb on life support. Even when you leave the UVT alone, this thing is doing stuff like going into power save mode after a minute of no use. But it can come back to life at any second thanks to the motion sensor once it detects any movement like shaking or firing. Someone at G&G must have really hated dying batteries as much as I do, because now the fun just continues even when you're not using it. Then finally, the last major thing I can find about the ultraviolet thumb is the power switch that's just a whole front portion instead of a button that is pressed up against the end of the threading against the barrel. This makes this tracer unit just all around easy to use, especially if you like that integral suppressor look. A good example as to why this matters can be seen here with my G&G 308 MBR-WH. I run a tracer on here because it just looks so much better with this on at the end of the barrel than with the weird amplifier it came with originally. But how the hell else am I supposed to hit the switch for the tracer unit since it's kinda covered by the rail system? I'm usually forced to just put a pen through the key mod and hit the switch that way. But I wouldn't have this problem if I had a UVT-106. I would just turn the front of it and bam, it's on. I assume with a little brain power you could also use this thing as the center of a special build. Like, imagine being able to center this inside of an Arizona or a can of Monster Energy drink. You can really pretend you're an edgy emo kid from a middle school then. Did anyone else collect the cans or the tabs for the cans anyway? I think you were legally required to do so if you listened to 3 Days Grace and Linkin Park in grade school. So $65. Is that reasonable for the UVT-106? I'm gonna say yes. This tracer unit offers 2 rechargeable LiPo batteries that you could charge while using it on the field if you don't mind fumbling around with an external battery pack and a wire. It turns itself off after a minute of no use, but it can be turned back on by just doing something like this. Just this will turn it back on. The on and off switch is right up front, and it's like $3 or $4 in quarters of mass. This does maybe question just how much power you get out of a UVT-106 if it was the size of this tracer unit though. But I'm not stupid. I know people prefer the huge and almost nonsensical suppressor look. I do too. Have you ever seen what a suppressor looks like on a shotgun? So some people won't ever use this on a full-length rifle, no matter what it offers. I think pistols and more compact weapons will look the best with the UVT at the end of their barrels. and would make the most sense when it's in close quarters games. And just for good measure, I hit up the DeeMoe and asked him what he thought about the UVT-106. The UVT looks like it has the potential to be one of the best compact trace units on the market. The two 3.7 LiPo batteries and rotating front power switch have to be my two favorite features. Minor details that make a huge difference when it comes down to performance and functionality. I'm definitely excited to get my hands on one of these and try it out. Honestly, if you're into straight up practical and useful tech with a whole list of pros attached to it, then this is the tracer unit for you. I only hope that G&G makes a few more sizes or replicate a couple of the most popular designs for suppressors, like for AKs or for some other replicas. Maybe we can even see these little tracer units even chrono BBs as they fly through them, but I'm not too sure about that since this is a pretty small tracer unit. But you never know. That would be dope, but that's just my 2 cents. Now the question is, do you think that this is worth $65, and would you want one for yourself when they release sometime in January 2020? This is the time to speak up now so G&G Armament can see what the community is thinking. When I was writing on my phone where I write my notes and scripts for these videos, community auto-corrected to communist. A big thanks goes to the DeeMoe for helping me out with this review. The dude makes the best airsoft vlogs, just admit it. I actually really enjoy them, and he has a real personality behind the camera. I'll be leaving links to his social medias and to his YouTube channel in the description, so please go check him out and be sure to make it known that I sent you. And thank you to G&G Armament for giving me the chance to show off this piece of equipment before anyone else could, and for sending the tracer BBs to go with it. I appreciate that classiness. I'll be sure to hit the G&G booth at SHOT Show 2020 first to show off more new products from them as soon as I can run over to that booth, but be sure to check out the info left in the description and comment down below your thoughts about the UVT-106 by G&G. But until that next video drops from the city of San Antonio, this has been Scott Hollenbeck, and I'll be sure to see you all next time. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off.